Hi everyone, I'm Mrs. Hayden. Welcome to Meet the Teacher Night Virtual Edition. Today we'll be running through some of the things that I think are important that you know to help me and to help your student throughout this semester. So first of all, everything that we need to know and every announcement, assignment, post, whatever will be through Google Classroom. So to make sure that your child is consistently checking that, staying up to date with Google Classroom, especially if they are absent, whether that's for an extended amount of time or just one short day, make sure that Google Classroom is where they turn to. The second thing is I'm always available for email for you, from your student, from my student, from your kid, from whoever. I will answer emails and I'm more than happy to correspond with you through that. Let's get started here by looking at Google Classroom and what that's going to look like for us throughout this semester. To start off with, I teach geometry, Algebra 1 honors, and Algebra 2 honors. So your kid is in probably one of those three classes. We're just going to pull up Algebra 2 honors here and look through some of the stuff that's on the Google Classroom page. Everyone's is formatted in this same format, so if your child's not in Algebra 2 honors, that's okay. They still follow this same format and this same guidelines here. So on this class stream here, you'll see that we have announcements, kind of last minute things or something I want to remind them about. So this is good to have notifications on for because sometimes that'll be like, hey, reminder, we have a quiz tomorrow, like this one is here. So to make sure that they have that so they can stay updated in the class as well. The next most important thing is classwork. So you'll see here in classwork, that's not where it normally pops up, there we go. It'll have chapter 2 at the top, so the chapter that we are most currently in, and then each section is assigned by the day that we did it. So like today in class, this is what we did in class today. So we checked the notes from last time, we did an assignment in the book, we had a Math Excel assignment, and then we started the front side of our notes. The homework is to complete the notes. So this might be different than anything you've seen before. Typically, notes are completed in class. The teacher is lecturing, but this year we're going to do a flipped classroom. So what that means is during class, while they are in class present with me, they will be going through like what a typical homework assignment would look like. So whether that's book problems, doing a fun activity, doing some investigation to try to find something else out more about the notes they took before. They'll be doing something like that in class, and then their homework is to take notes. I make their notes video every night, so they'll have videos that are produced by me, so they'll be learning the same stuff they would have learned in class. It's just going to be through a video. So they're expected to take notes, write down any questions they have on the notes during that time, and then when we all come together back for class, I'll answer any questions they had and then get started on the homework. I have truly found this to be super beneficial. The students who have questions typically and get stuck at home that would just give up maybe on their homework because they didn't know how to move forward, they're able to ask those questions in person now and get those things answered so that they have the motivation and confidence to keep working through the work and to really succeed in math. So I've seen within the first, 3 weeks of school, it's been really successful, and I think the students are really liking it. So what that looks like is I will typically give them a notes handout, which is always attached here. So this is the one that they're doing for homework tonight. They can get on here, print out the PDF. I will hand it to them in class, but again, if they're absent for any reason, they can print it out on their own if they want the handout. And then also attached is the video. So this video is, again, me going through it, so I'll just play a little start of it so that you can see what they see when they get on here to do their notes. Hopefully that you saw on the front that some of these additions and subtractions or even multiplications can do different things to what we call the parent function or the original shape. So if f of x is the original function, so the first function we have, and then we're going to skip ahead a little bit so I can write on the board, if you are multiplying by some. It's really helpful. They enjoy it a lot. I go through all the notes with them at the end. It's all filled out and everything. So that's helpful. Hit the wrong button there. Okay, so back to our Google Classroom. So that's how the flipped classroom is going to work. I'm going to scroll down to the first day we had in class here and pull up this policy sheet. So yes, this is for Algebra 2, but it's pretty similar for all of my other algebra and geometry classes as well. My email is up here if you want to jot that down. Feel free to email me whenever. I am more than happy to talk you through any questions you have or to re-inform you on what we're doing in class again if you have questions after this. This lays out my expectations, things that I expect them to have, things that I expect them to do, and all of that, in class, out of class, whatever that is. This part, again, the flipped classroom is the most important part. So this goes through how it works, what I expect. The only homework typically is to take notes or maybe to study for your test. The way it works if you don't have your notes in class, so this is really important in order for the day to move along as necessary, is that everyone comes to class with their notes completed. I'm going to keep track of how many times they have not completed them, and you'll get a 0 on your notes if it's not complete, but then also if you have 3 zeros for missed notes, you'll receive a detention. So that's something that you all can do to really help at home and keep them up to date, is to maybe just check in. Hey, have you done your notes for tonight? Notes will almost always be assigned for math, so if they say they didn't have any notes, you might want to say, hey, pull up that Google Classroom, let me see that. So it's really helpful to have that positive reinforcement at home as well. It hasn't been a problem up to this point, really. For the most part, kids are getting their notes in and staying on top of it, but I know as the semester goes on, sometimes motivation falls as well. So let's just keep continuing to be positive reinforcements for them at home, and I will continue to do that here at school as well. If a student is absent, whether that's for an extended amount of time or just a day, checking Google Classroom, seeing what they missed on that day, and coming to class with that complete the next day is perfect. If they have questions, I am always available through email. So that's pretty much the policy sheet. You can feel free to ask your child to show you that policy sheet on their Google Classroom if you want to look at that more in depth. But for the most part, that's how this class is going to run. It should run smooth and go really well. They're loving the flipped classroom so far, and I really am too. So I look forward to the rest of this semester with your kids in my class, and I hope one day that we can actually meet face-to-face outside of all of this COVID regulation. So thanks for joining me for Meet the Teacher Night. Hopefully I've answered some of your questions you might have, and if I haven't, please feel free to shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you.